Welcome to the show tonight, guys. Hope you're having a great night. This is the live 1-hour show that we do every week. I'm Jason, and of course I'm with Chris, and we are two flippin' dudes. So thanks for jumping in. And I see quite a few comments coming in already. Chris, how are you doing tonight?
Man, doing good. Good productive day, good productive week, feeling good. And I just had some tacos for dinner, so I know it's going to be a good show.
Nice. Tacos. What a great meal. Classic.
What's going on with you?
Man, not a lot. I haven't done anything with eBay today. I have just been cranking away at some videos. I got really super focused and just went into my cave and didn't stop until they were done. So I'm feeling pretty good about the day.
Good for you. What do we got for videos coming out this week?
Well, I'll tell you about one of the three, but it's a question that honestly a lot of people have been asking is, I'm sure you've gotten as well on your channel, but when do I get a store, or when do I upgrade from like a basic to a premium or something like that? So I did a video today on how to know when to either get a store for the first time or how to switch up to the next store level based on just the sheer math and numbers behind it. So yeah,
that's awesome. I can't wait to see that video because it is a really commonly asked question, and I'm actually surprised by how often people don't have their math right and don't really understand like what the store subscription is all about. So yeah, that's awesome. I'm gonna show that to people a lot.
Yeah, so I'll have to finish editing, but that was a lot of fun to do, and yeah, I think people will see that it makes sense at a certain level to just go ahead and either jump in or switch up. So, but anyways, why don't we get into the show tonight? And you want to kick off and tell everyone what we're all about here?
Yeah, welcome everyone to Two Flippin' Dudes. This is a weekly opportunity for Jason and I just to catch up and talk reselling. We invite you along for the conversation, A, because it's fun, B, because we hope that you walk away from this episode and every episode with just an idea or a tidbit that can help you grow your own business. And we just want to give you a live, like real-time, authentic look into what's actually happening in our business. So thanks for joining us tonight. And Jason, happy Thursday.
Yeah, happy Thursday to you as well. I'll go ahead and throw this up. We always love getting questions, and I know we say this every week, but if you have a question for us, go ahead and put it in the live. You're here live. Put it in the comments. But I did want to do shout out to Lynn at 5280 Finds. He's been trying to get into one of these videos for a long time. So Lynn, thanks for joining us from Colorado.
Len made it. That's awesome. And I also want to appreciate Nick and Renee, or Nick or Renee, for offering that idea, like, hey, go hit that like button. If you're having fun and you enjoy this show, if you hit the like button, that helps us get a bigger audience to come join the conversation. So we'd appreciate that.
Yeah, we appreciate your support. Trisha is joining you, had tacos today as well.
Right on.
And then we've got Neb in here. Neb, welcome back. I know there are a lot of people in here, and I wish we could shout out all of you, but thanks for watching us and taking the time out of your schedule to hang with us tonight. Well, Chris, any other news this week you want to share, or should we get into showing some thrifted items?
I guess on a personal note, this past weekend, I got a chance to catch up with an old, like really high school and college buddy, Zach. Went down to Tampa and spent some time with him. He lives in Miami now, but he was up in town for some business. So Kim and I went and visited him Saturday night and went down by the Riverwalk, and ultimately had way too much tequila, or just enough, depending on your perspective. So that was fun. From a business perspective, man, this week I was like, I was looking at my numbers, and I've actually sold more items than I've listed. And that hasn't happened since I've gone full time. So it's kind of like a rude awakening, and I've just gone after it this week. I've just realized that I haven't been super focused. I haven't been super efficient in my processes. So this week I just buckled down and did it. And I said, look, I'm gonna list 100 items this week. And right now I'm at 72, so on pace to do that. And I have a bunch more kind of ready that are already photoed and measured, ready to go over the next day or so. So
wow,
excited to hit that goal. I don't think I've ever listed 100 in a week. I've never tracked weekly listing before. I just started doing it about 6 weeks ago, maybe 8 weeks ago. So I've never done it in that period of time, but I don't suspect I ever have done it. So that's what's happening in my world, just getting serious and going after it.
Yeah, I love that. Like, you're very goal oriented. And I think that's the thing that you've challenged me specifically with, is like creating goals and then working towards those goals, not just like building for something that you haven't really defined yet. And so I love that you're constantly like measuring and thinking through, like, what do I really want to do with my business, and seeing you actually take steps to do those things. I think it's pretty sweet.
I appreciate that, man. And like right now, real time, this month I've sold 166 items and I've listed 161. So I'm still like just barely in the negative. I would love to finish off this month knowing that I at least grew the store by like 1 or 2 items of inventory.
Yeah, well, fortunately, that's a good problem to have. It means cash is flowing.
Yeah, no, sales have been great, and I'm certainly grateful for that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yesterday I went thrifting, and man, it was one of those days where, I feel the pressure too of like, okay, I've sold a bunch of this stuff. Now I've got to replenish, like you were just talking about, and went to 5 stores. And if it hadn't been for one store in particular, I would have come home with almost nothing, maybe 15, 20 items. Wow. But one store ended up being the jackpot. And it was like, I was so thankful that I went to that store because it wasn't one I usually go to. And also to pull like 40 items at a store here is pretty large for me. I'd say the average is like 15 to 20. So wow, I had a good day considering that one store yesterday. But other than that, it's like, all right, where's all the stuff? It seemed like some of the racks here were just kind of, scarce, and shoes were like picked over, half full. It was just kind of interesting to see at some of those thrift stores.
That is interesting. We've been seeing some of that locally here too, and talking. We might have talked about this in a recent week, but one of the stores said that they're having trouble at their main distribution center, keep like getting enough staff to get the items out stocked in the stores. And I think that's, with small businesses right now, I'm seeing a lot of like looking for help signs at a lot of businesses right now. And I think that's a big challenge, is trying to get people onto the payroll to get some work done. So,
yeah. Well, yeah, I hope it's that. And it's just kind of interesting when you walk in and the racks are like half full, but
I don't think it's because Americans have slowed down on consuming and getting rid of stuff,
That hasn't been a problem for a long time. Or I guess that has been a problem for a long time, I should say.
Sure. I guess it depends on the perspective.
It depends on whether you're buying or selling.
Right.
But well, cool. Well, let's show some items that we've thrifted this week and put some stuff in front of people.
What do you got? You want to go?
Yeah, I'll go. I don't know if I think I have shown one of these on the show before, but I found another one of these yesterday. These chili vinegar.
Oh my gosh.
I guess this is one of those things that I'm going to become known for. Like, I'm going to be that guy that's like, oh yeah, he's the guy that picks these up. But it was $1. So this was one of the last things I found of the day. I mean, obviously I would have paid up to $5 or $7 for this, but those that don't know, this is like the 5th item I've found, and I've sold all 4 of them for $160. So if you can find them for a few bucks, obviously this is more of like a decor piece you're going to put in the kitchen. But they don't last long in my store when I list them. So
it's funny. You're like the chili pepper bottle king. It's amazing. I find myself looking for those now, and I laugh as I'm doing it. That I'm like looking at the top shelf, looking for these chili pepper bottles. It's funny.
Yeah, I had so many people that have commented like, I've thrown those away, or I've had those, or even people who are like, what? Those don't sell. I'm like, no, they do. I've sold them. So yeah, that was, now I'm starting to get more where I'm like, all right, I'll start looking for those specifically. But yeah, I guess that's become my thing now, is looking for those.
You're going to have to shift away from clothing and move into the chili pepper bottle market, just whole hog.
What if just like one show, it was just me featuring all these little different bottles that I found? It was like, this one's green.
I guess the problem is you're selling them too quick.
Oh.
All right, I'll start off with, so last week, I showed some shooting shirts, and I don't typically find them, and all of a sudden I'm on a shooting shirt run. I found like 4 last week. I showed you 2 of them. Here's another one.
Wow, Browning.
Yeah, this one is a Browning. I've never found a Browning before, actually. This is the first time that I've ever taken one home with me. And nice little embroidery. Let's see, where is the embroidery? There it is. That guy.
Nice.
And the padded shoulder. So nice little piece. You can probably tell it's a little wet right now. It had some spots on it, so I was cleaning those off. Looks like some successfully and some unsuccessfully, but either way, I knew that I would get some money for that. Someone who's going to hunt in that or go out and shoot guns is probably not going to care about a couple of spots on the back of it. So.
Yeah.
But that's
completely agreed.
Now I'm going to go total opposite with these two. They're already nicely folded. Look at this. But so here's some designer stuff, like some legit designer. So some Yves Saint Laurent, which is, I've come across this before. I've never picked it up because every time I've come across it, it's been flawed. I'm expecting probably $30 for that. I've found that like just plain like designer dress shirts like that for men don't tend to pull as much money as people would think, which is crazy because it's really uncommon and there's not really many of them listed, but they don't tend to get a lot of money. I might get 35 for it. I could list it high and wait for someone to come along, but they don't tend to get all that much money for, especially just a kind of a plain one. And here's another plain navy blue one. This is an Armani. And again, I'll probably get maybe 30 or 35 for this puppy. But pretty rare find. I mean, it's fun to find stuff like that at the thrift store because you're talking like legit designer stuff, you know? So
yeah, I know I've seen that. The first brand I have never recognized before. Armani I see occasionally, but I don't pick it up. But I kind of always think in the back of my head, like Chris picks this up. Maybe I should look it up. But you said $30 for the Armanis.
Yeah, I think for that one, I sold one fairly recently, I think for $30. So yeah, and the comps are pretty solid in that area. The thing of it is, you'll see comps all over the place for shirts like that because there's a lot of people who auction shirts like that because they think that they have something, you know, they think they got a whale and they put on a 7-day auction and it's just not that much in demand that you're going to like get a whole bunch of bidders on a shirt like that. It's just not this like super rare, unique thing. So you'll see like sold comps for like $16 and you'll see sold comps for $70, right? But that's what, I guess there's a lesson there too. When you're looking at comps and you see things all over the place, filter out the auctions and just look at the buy it nows because those auctions for most clothing are just going to be, I mean, usually 50% of like what you'd get for if you did buy it now. That's a good rule of thumb. So, but anyway, yeah, I think I still don't think that those are cool pieces. Don't get me wrong. I'm like, hey, these are these cool pieces, and they're really not that cool. And I'm like, yeah, I'm coming back on myself, but they're cool. They're rare to find, and it's still probably a $30 or $35 shirt in most circumstances, unless you find something that's got a really unique pattern or particularly sought after. Yeah,
that's good to know. And I feel like I can't think of it right now, but I feel like there's a brand that copies that Armani. I can't remember what it is. Does that sound familiar? Like a brand that copies Armani, kind of looks like the tag, and maybe even has a similar name. Or maybe I'm just seeing Armani.
I mean, you might be seeing Armani Exchange, which is a lower.
I think that may be what it is. Yeah,
it's still Armani. It's just a lower, lower model. I guess it's like Filene's basement to Filene's.
Alfani. Wimble says Alfani.
Oh, maybe. Is that what you were thinking of?
I think so. That sounds familiar. It's very similar to Armani.
Yeah, that's a total no-go brand. That's like a sell it for 99 cents on eBay used.
Yeah, well, this is a real-time reaction because I was just looking these over and I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have picked these up. But normally I would pick up something like this, these Uggs. And these are like women's house shoes or slippers, whatever you want to call them. But you can see right there, I missed this in the store. Obviously, I was in a hurry because that's pretty out there and visible. But yeah, I mean, this store was kind of cheap anyways. I think I paid $4 or $5 for these, and I still should turn a profit. But without this, I probably would have gotten like $40 for these house shoes. Oh no, I did pay up $10.
You still won't lose money on those.
Yeah, I won't lose money, but you know, now I'm probably looking at sell for 25 plus shipping instead of like 35 or 40. So
I'm sure you probably would have left those behind had you seen it.
Yeah, but Uggs, I've actually had really good luck with Uggs in the past, so that's something I'm constantly looking for. Their counterpart is
this week.
What'd you say?
I flipped a pair of Uggs really quick this week. Actually, I picked them up. I don't know. I think they sold in probably 5 days.
Were they like the classic Uggs, like the big boots with the tall shaft?
No, they were big, tall boots, but they had more of like a knit woven pattern to them with buttons, and you can fold them down. They're actually a pretty cool pair of boots. I got $40 for them. I could have probably held out and got a little more, but I was just happy to get rid of them in like 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, I've sold those before. Those are good. Those are really good. Chris, I have another one here. I want to see if you know, because I had never heard of this brand before. I saw the fabric and looked it up, and there were no comps, no sold comps, no active listings. But there's the tag right there. And let's see, I have to read this. Forged Clothing is the name of the brand.
Never heard of it, man.
I mean, it's a really sweet fabric. Like, you can tell it's a high quality fabric. And these are only $4. And I was looking at it like, okay, these are either like bike shorts or I don't know, honestly, but here's another, let me show you the other logo down here on the bottom. It's got like this little fork looking thing.
Like a trident.
Yeah. So I couldn't find comps on them, and I almost just passed them up, and I was like, well, I should look on Google. So I looked it up. It's a Navy SEALs brand, or it's either maybe a brand made by a Navy SEAL, like went into business, created this brand. And I think I was seeing like new shorts like that go for 50, 60. So I'm like, all right, those are great condition. I can at least get 30 or 40 out of those, including shipping. So
yeah, that's interesting. I just went to their website. I've never heard of it before. But yeah, definitely looks like military service member on the front page. There's they're honoring a San Diego police officer. It looks like it went down in the line of duty. But yeah, interesting. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I'd be curious to hear how that one sells. I've never seen it. I'm guessing it's probably not something that we're going to stumble upon with any kind of frequency in a thrift store.
Yeah, and I think that is a rare clothing item that I'll probably put up on Facebook too, to see if there's a market there for, as well as, you know, in addition to eBay. So
might be an Instagram worthy.
That's very true.
Post too.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you have any other items you want to show us. I see some cool pieces in the back there, but
yeah, just looking up at your forge, just trying to see how new the brand is. And it says it was born on the battlefield of Iraq in late 2006. So wow. I'm guessing that they there's a whole story there that I won't read right now, but it sounds like the idea was born or something in 2006. So a pretty young brand. And usually with pretty young brands like that, you don't find too much of it at the thrift store because they haven't gone through their life cycle, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'll be looking for it. I got some other pieces for you. So let me know if you recognize this brand. Jason, you should.
I wouldn't be able to say it, except for I think I know that you were telling me about this earlier. Is that Highmark?
It is, yeah. So last week I showed everyone and some Highmark, and this week again. So thanks, Jason, for tipping me off on this brand. So not only do I have that piece, which is a kind of a serving bowl, like 5.5 inches deep, kind of big serving bowl, but also this really big serving platter. I think this is like a 10.5-inch platter with that same pattern on it with the peaches. Pretty cool.
That looks bigger.
Yeah.
That one looks like a 15, 16 inch.
Oh, you're probably right. Well, I got the measuring thing right behind me. Yeah, good call, man. I think it's 15.5. How about that? Good eye.
Well, I just know that most of the dinner plates I've been selling are like that 10.5 to 12 inch range. Right. And that's definitely a massive like tray.
Yeah, and this bowl's 9, if you were wondering.
What are you thinking on, are you going to lot those together, obviously? Or, I say obviously, I'm asking you a question, but
I'll list it both ways as I do with things that are matching sometimes. So what I'll do is I'll do a listing with both together, and then I'll do both individually. I'll probably list them together. I don't know. I'm thinking of a number. I'll see what you're thinking for a number. Together, I'm thinking maybe $55. And then if I do them separate, I think I'll probably do them like 40 and 30, like 40 for the big serving dish and 30 for the bowl, plus shipping, of course.
Yeah, I think that's right on. If you sell them together, you're looking in the 50s. I actually have a very similar, not the same brand, but a platter and a bowl that I picked up this week too, that I'm thinking the same thing on. So good find.
Thanks, man. And found another Revereware. I don't know if I found one last week. I don't know if I showed it on the show or not, but found another one. This is just a 1 quart. I don't think this is worth a lot of money, but it'll sell. And this is a copper bottom, and you can see the brand. It's kind of hard to pick up with the light there. There it is. Oh, maybe. Yeah. But it's got the, it looks like a little Paul Revere kind of Patriot. Oh, I had it upside down. That'll be helpful. There you go. That's one example of a Revere wear logo. There's a bunch of different logos. This one is a more modern one, probably late 70s or early 80s, but these things are bomb proof. They clean up so nice, and whenever you find them, they're just still in really nice condition. What's interesting is Revere wear. My mom had a whole set of them, and they used to be sold, door to door. And she got them back in the 70s. I think it was probably a 20-piece set. So there's a whole bunch of different brands that were sold door to door. I think 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, even into the 80s. And I guess everyone it was a thing. Like when you graduated high school, you would just buy a set of pants.
Yeah.
And particularly if you were a woman, it was just kind of like a rite of passage thing. So the same guy would come back for, each of my mom's sisters had bought one from him. And when it was her turn, she was the youngest of her. She had 2 older sisters and a younger brother. But anyway, the 3 sisters each got a Revere wear from the same door-to-door salesman, that would come around every couple of years.
Yeah.
And would graduate from high school. So kind of interesting story. So this one, I probably paid $5 for it, and it will probably sell for maybe $12 or $15 plus shipping. So not typically the type of profit margin I'm looking for, but kind of a cool piece to, come home and show to mom. Hey, mom, check it out. I got another Revere wear piece.
Yeah, funny story or coincidence. We had that same set probably 6 months ago. We had the whole set of pans, saucepans, pots, lids, and everything. And we sold those. We upgraded our set. We picked them up at a thrift store in Denver. Angela found them. And we sold those, I think, for like 100 for probably 10 pieces, including the lids and stuff.
Right.
Did a local Facebook sale here, and they went pretty fast. I honestly don't look for those, or it wasn't until that. And now I'm like, okay, look for Revere wear.
Yeah. And don't be scared if they look rough when you get them. A little bit of that barkeeper's polish and just a little bit of elbow grease, and that thing just cleaned up. I mean, it's shiny now. I'm surprised. The copper bottom looked terrible, frankly. And, but I just knew a little bit of that little elbow grease and that thing will look nice.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Well, we've had some questions come in, and let's go ahead and get to some questions here.
Sure.
So Nick and Renee asked, your sales, the sales you run seem to get stagnant after a couple of weeks. I don't mind taking this right off the bat, because I think, I've obviously been running sales, Chris, but you can answer this when I'm finished if you are running sales. I found, and I guess I don't really know because I don't leave sales on for longer than a week, Nick and Renee. So, about every Monday, I will run a sale to end like late Sunday night, because that's the time when most people are in front of their computers, buying stuff, looking at stuff, whatever. And so, yeah, every week I'm going in and restarting that sale. So I don't, I guess there are theories out there that when you start it, you get a little boost, and when it's ending, you're going to get a boost because people want to snatch it before it goes off sale. But I don't really have any stats or anything to testify that is true. But I just run a sale every week. So Chris, love your thoughts on that, because I don't know if that really answers her question, but what have you noticed, or have you noticed?
Honestly, I don't know. I haven't noticed any. I don't know if I would notice, just because I'll run a sale on like half of my inventory, and then stuff from that half and from the stuff that's not on sale is selling. I'm shipping it out every day. And I just don't know that I'm like tracking it or paying attention to it, Yeah. And usually the stuff I'm putting on sale is like some older items that I'm trying to move, right? So comparing sales of older items that I'm trying to move to newer, fresher items that are marked up as opposed to ones that are marked down, it's, to me, I'm like, it's just, I don't know. I don't pay attention. I guess it's a long-winded way of saying Nick and Renee. I don't know. But it sounds like maybe that's what you're seeing on your end.
Yeah. And Trisha asked this, when you went full-time, what did you do on day one? That's a great question, Trisha.
I went thrifting. Of course, I took a couple of days off. My last day of work was a Friday. I didn't do anything for 2 days. And then I went out thrifting, even though I had like a huge death pile that I was intentionally building up in my last several weeks of work. I was just getting as much stuff as I could and wasn't listing wasn't putting as much emphasis into listings. So, but yeah, of course I should have just sat down and like started churning out listings, but I went thrifting because I was like, I can do a whole day of thrifting instead of like I used to run out at, take a long lunch or wrap up early and race down to the thrift store and just run through. I was able to just go to the thrift store and like just spend some time and go to a couple of thrift stores in a row. So it's interesting. I don't typically go just do like single store, like I got like an hour or two. I did it last Friday for the first time in a long time, but usually it's like a whole day where I'm thrifting for at least a whole or a half day. It's not just like, hey, I'm going to stop by the thrift store, but that's all I used to do was just, hey, I'm going to stop by the thrift store. I got a little bit of time.
Yeah. I honestly don't remember this day for me. That was a little over 3 years ago. I want to say that I was at home listing. I think I had anticipated quitting and bought a lot of stuff, and then so that I could just really hammer out listings for like 2 or 3 days when I actually did quit. But I just remember this feeling of, this is weird. This is kind of strange to not have anywhere to go. It was very interesting, very different to wake up and be like, I can choose to do what I want to do today, and I don't have to answer to anyone. So yeah, I
would say, Trisha, I know your day number 1 is coming up pretty soon here, and I'm really excited for you. So for your day number 1, I'd say do whatever you want or nothing if that's what you want.
Yeah. Celebrate the fact that you are able to do that.
Yeah, I mean the side, I'm imagining you've been working really hard by working and having the side hustle, side business. So do whatever the heck you want, sister.
Yeah, and I don't know that I knew that Trisha was going full time. So that's exciting. And she says tomorrow.
It's tomorrow. That's awesome. So that means today was the last day of work. Gosh, how does that feel, Trisha? I can imagine. I don't want to guess at what you're feeling, but for me, it was definitely a glass case of emotions. There was a lot of stuff going through my mind. So I hope yours is mostly the positive stuff and not the mix of positive and a lot of negative that I had.
Yeah. And Trisha, you tell us, what are you thinking of doing tomorrow? Are you yard sailing, or what's your plan for your first day in your new role, new job? Well, while she's, if she wants to answer that, she can, but let's check in on Facebook. It's been kind of a ho-hum week for me, Chris.
Has it? Yeah, I went, obviously when we started the Facebook experiment, what is this? Is it 5 or 6 weeks ago, maybe now? You kind of went out like you were shot out of a cannon, and you just went after it, and you were listing a lot, and I saw that you were selling a lot. So I finally got me around to getting on there. This is day number 22 since I started listing on Facebook Marketplace with any kind of regularity. And I kind of had a big peak in the middle there after going really slow and was doing really well. And then this last week, I've listed a grand total of 5 things on Facebook Marketplace. And I've sold 4 things since we last hung out last Thursday. So I haven't been feeding the beast. So yeah, I haven't been getting the sales, but 4 sales isn't bad in 7 days, right? Considering I have a grand total of about 100 things listed. So if you want to have my full update, I have been on Facebook Marketplace for 22 days and I've sold 19 items. 18 of those were shipped. One of them was a local pickup. So that's pretty good. Almost, 1 per day. With only about 100 listings right now at the top. So 1 per day would be about a 30% monthly sell-through rate, that's really healthy, especially considering a lot of the stuff that I've been putting up there was stuff that sat on eBay. That's why I was putting it up on Facebook Marketplace. I wanted to see if I could get rid of it. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. And it doesn't sound like a lot. We have 4 sales in the last 7 days, but I only spent probably 10 minutes total listing those 5 items that I cross-listed. I'll cross-list some more tomorrow too. I got some of these. Haven't been doing clothes, and this week I've been listing mostly clothes, but I have some of these hard goods behind me, like the Revere ware and these pots and platters and stuff that I'll put there. Here's another thing I'm going to put there. This is kind of a show and tell too. At the same time, I can't wait to get rid of this thing. Check it out. National Champions 1993 Florida State University.
Wow, that's pretty sweet.
Got their schedule. Now, this is a piece that I don't think would perform really well on eBay. I paid $1 for it at the thrift store. I think I can get a quick 10 or 15 bucks for this on Facebook Marketplace. That's my theory. On eBay, I think this would be a dog. And there's other ones listed that aren't really moving. So I think it's a Facebook Marketplace mover. We'll see.
So will you even attempt to put it up on eBay? Or
yeah, sure. I'll just do it on both and see what happens. Why not? But I can't wait to get rid of that thing because I'm a University of Miami fan. So that Florida State Seminole stuff can get out of here. I was like, oh, I usually grab a new mug to drink water out of during the show, and I like to grab one that I found this week, and I think that's the only mug that I bought this week. So I grabbed it.
Like, I'm not doing it.
And then I was like, I'm not drinking out of this thing. I'm getting rid of this thing. So if you're out there and you're a Florida State fan, come buy that thing. Get it out of my house.
Yeah, if you see anything behind us that you want, please let us know. We'll make you a better deal than we would if we were selling it on Facebook or on eBay.
Absolutely. But then I settled on my bridesmaid Ray Dunn mug.
Someone was commenting on that earlier. Nick and Renee. Hilarious on the bridesmaid Ray Dunn mug. Well, dude, my week was very similar to yours as far as Facebook goes, in that I put up 4 new listings. I made 3 sales for a total of $93. One of those was a local sale. Here's the strange thing. Not so strange, but just interesting. They were all golf pieces. So I sold a couple of golf jackets and a pair of golf pants. So it seems to be the trend for me is sports related stuff.
That's awesome. That's good to know too. I actually have a golf club that's been sitting around and hasn't moved on eBay. I'm going to go ahead and put that on Facebook Marketplace tomorrow. I'm glad.
I think that could definitely go tomorrow for sure.
Right on. Cool. I'll do that for sure. And I got shirts that I think will go well on there too.
Yeah, definitely do it. Who knows? Maybe next week you'll be talking about the golf club that sold.
Yeah, maybe. But I got to hit that goal. To me, that's why I haven't really been posting on Facebook Marketplace. I'm like, I need to feed eBay, and I'm gonna get that 100 mark on eBay. So, and actually, I'm really close to 900 listings. I'm hoping that tomorrow I can finally reach the elusive 900 active listings number, which I've flirted with, but I've just never gotten over the hump.
Well, tomorrow's your day. I can feel it.
Thanks, man.
All right, well, let's play our flipping game.
Let's do it. All right, y'all, we got 2 flipping dudes. We're gonna have 1 flipping winner, 5 flipping questions, and question number 5 is important because we're gonna need your audience participation. The live audience is gonna vote for the winner of question number 5, so stick around for that. Let's kick things right off with question number 1. Jason, you won last week, defending champion, so you'll get to go first this week. Question number 1, your biggest sale of the week, the last 7 days.
This may be my biggest sale that I've ever had in this game.
Uh-oh.
So I'm not feeling too good about this, Chris, but I like this piece. We'll just kick it off right here. Take a look at this. I paid $5 at Goodwill a couple months ago, 2 or 3 months, for these Crocs, like these pretty unique pattern, like leopard print Crocs. Soles were in excellent condition. I cleaned them up. I mean, they didn't look like they had been worn long. And I got the full price of $75.34 on these that were used. That's the crazy thing. A used pair of Crocs for $75. So
that's awesome, man. You should have kept those.
I mean, I could just rock them during the show,
Yeah, I mean, everybody's got that wild side. I know you got it.
Oh, that's
good one, man. Nice sale. I like flipping Crocs, especially unique ones, rather than just sort of the normal standard ones. Those wild ones just seem to do well.
Yeah.
All right. So my biggest sale of the week. Even though you just poo-pooed your own, you still beat me this week. I had no big sales this week. This was a total bread and butter week. As I was going through this, I knew it was a bread and butter week, but then when I was looking at my numbers to prepare for the show, I was like, wow, I don't really have any signature sales. So this Brooks Brothers jacket, I picked it up back in December. It sold for a best offer of $59 plus $10 shipping. So $69 all in for this jacket. Nice little jacket. It was in like really nice shape.
Yeah.
Pretty unique little piece there. If you look at like the inside, just kind of nice piece. It's not really a December, January, February kind of jacket, more of like a springtime sort of jacket. So here we go. Seasonally, it just sold.
Solid. I like the pockets on that.
Yeah, I thought it was a nice piece. So here we go. Jason takes question number 1. Jason with the sneakers 1. Chris with the shirts nothing. Question number 2. Biggest profit. This is why we do it. We do it to make money so we can buy tacos. So Jason, what was your biggest profit item after shipping and fees this week?
So this is another throwback to another show. I love how this happens all the time. Items we show on the live show actually come back in the what sold game.
Nice.
So I sold this Furby. I paid $3 for at a yard sale, and if you remember, I got 2 of these, a black one and a white one. I paid $3 each, probably a month ago, and this sold for that full price of $59.84 plus 10 shipping. Yeah. I honestly was looking at this and I was like, did I talk about that last week? Like I had to tell myself, no, this sold in this past week. It's like they're all running together. But the profit on this was $48.74 is what I got profit wise.
That's awesome and such a cool find. I love that the those cool finds keep finding their way back onto the show. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
The stuff that we are buying, it is selling, y'all. And in that case, it sold really quick for great profit. So here is my biggest profit item. The biggest was the jacket, actually, but can't use it twice. So this is my biggest profit item. I sold these Hoka 11s. I picked them up. When did I pick these up? Picked those up Friday at Goodwill. I listed them on Tuesday, and they sold the same day or the next day. Hold on. I should have my stats together here. Bear with me here. Hoka's sold... Yeah, I sold next day. I got a offer for $40 plus $10 shipping, so $50. I paid $11 including tax for them. So out the door, I got $24 for these Hokas.
It's a nice looking shoe.
Yeah, they were actually pretty. They were in pretty rough condition. If these were in like excellent condition, you probably would have seen these sell for more like $65 or $70 plus shipping. But I don't know if you can see in any of these pictures. They were pretty rough. You can see a tear there. Yeah. And then, of course, I disclosed their condition is fair to good, and I described like the soles, which were pretty worn too. You can see they're pretty worn thin, but took good close-up photos and made sure I described it. But I priced it at the very bottom of the market too, but just to move them quick, and they did.
You want to hear an interesting fact about that brand?
I do.
For so long, I've been calling them Hoka 11, which is what you would think, right? And I had someone recently reach out on a video and say, that's not how you pronounce it. I was like, how else can you pronounce that? I guess the brand calls it Hoka One One.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to call it that. Like, I know that's the name, but it's just so easier to say Hoka 11.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It's a different, I'm not sure what language it is, but it means something in a different language.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
I'm calling them Hoka 11s. All right.
I know it's a lot easier. It just rolls off the tongue. One One is like, I don't know, just interesting.
Right on. That is an interesting fact. I appreciate you sharing that. Updated scoreboard here. Jason is running away from it in his Onays. Jason with the Onays 2, the shirts 1. Let's move into the fastest sale. Finally, a freaking category that I could win. Maybe. Jason, what was your fastest sale of the last week?
Oh, Chris, I just listed this before the show, and 2 minutes later, it's sold.
Come on, 2 minutes. Oh, my Lord.
No, I don't think I can beat you on this, but I'm going to put up a good fight. This Horny Toad, which is also rebranded into Toad & Co., but this one is one of the older names, sold within 23 hours and 44 minutes for, what did it go for? $24 all in on this shirt. And just for those that are looking for, like I said, this is the older name. They don't go by that anymore, but if you find this brand or Toad & Co., And you can see in the title, I put Horny Toad and Co. just to capture both like buyers that may be looking for either one of those shirts. I put the full name in there, I guess.
That's exactly what I do. I'd be curious, what do you do for the, like when you have to choose the brand? Are you choosing the more modern Toad and Co.?
I pick whatever it is, so I stay consistent to what's on the shirt.
Gotcha. I put the newer one. I put Toad and Co. on those.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
All right. You said 23 hours on that one. Okay. So I was actually going to use this for like my coolest pick of the week, but then, I mean, it's already out the door. It's already shipped. I just checked before the show. I was like, maybe it'd be cool if it was already delivered. But it hasn't been delivered yet. I think it's scheduled for tomorrow. So I picked up this Super Bowl 18 mug Friday at Goodwill. I paid $1.18 for it. I listed it on Monday. It sold in 28 minutes on Facebook Marketplace, which is wildly fast. I got an offer for $15 plus $9 shipping. So it's gone a 28-minute flip, which is really cool. And that's kind of what fueled my idea of like, maybe I can sell this Florida Seminoles mug, like 1993 national champions, and get that going on Facebook Marketplace for like a quick flip like that. Of course, I think this one's a little bit more desirable, that being a beer stein, and actually it would have been cool to drink beer out of this thing on the show, but it's gone. It's USPS in right now to the customer.
I have a very similar item on Facebook that's just not getting any traction. That's just like that, a different Super Bowl. So I'm actually looking up now to see what it's doing, but we can move on to the next category. And
which Super Bowl was it? I'm curious.
I think it's 1979. It was the Steelers. They won the Super Bowl that year, and it was so it just had the Steelers on it. And then it had the schedule from the year on the back, from like the results of all the games. Let's see what it's up to listing wise. Yeah. So funny. I got it for, what did you get for yours?
I got $15 plus $9 shipping. I listed it for $20 and got an offer that quick. I wasn't going to say no.
Okay. So I've got mine for $22 plus $9 shipping, and I've gotten 4 views since March 30th.
That's on eBay?
It's on eBay and Facebook, but on Facebook, I've gotten 4 views.
Interesting.
I mean, I'll show you what it looks like right here. Check that out.
That's rad. And the Steelers have such a huge following at being one of the older teams. I'm surprised.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's very similar to what yours is. It has the gold rim on the back. It's got like I said, the regular season record there and the playoff scores and stuff. So I don't know. I mean, I thought that would go quick, and
did you?
So good for you.
Did you spell Pittsburgh wrong?
Did I? Shoot, I just closed it out. Did I put an H at the end, or did I not put an H at the end? Let me take a look.
I was gonna quickly spell check. Like, that's something I look for when I have something that's like strangely not getting views. I'm like, did I make a spelling error?
So Pitts, right? Burgh.
You got it right then.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know.
That's what I was. Do you use the tags, by the way? Like, do you put tags in?
Very sparingly. I haven't been doing a lot lately, but that's probably something that would require tags, like Super Bowl, playoffs, NFL, things like that.
Yeah, mine had. I had a bunch of tags on mine. Super Bowl, Las Vegas Raiders, Los Angeles Raiders, Washington football team, Washington Redskins, vintage style. Yeah, I put up Tampa because that's where the game took place. I put all kinds of stuff in there.
Do you put? I mean, is that normal for you to put a lot of tags in your?
I have been on Facebook Marketplace for stuff like that.
Okay. Well, maybe that's something I'll go do later this week.
I feel like the person who's going to like come across that is probably not like, hey, I'm going to go buy a vintage beer stein from the 1979 Super Bowl, right? They're probably been searching for other Pittsburgh like Steeler stuff, right? Like they might have been looking at autographed Pittsburgh Steeler sports cards or something like that. But then the way Facebook works is it'll recommend it probably based on some of those tags. That's my theory anyway. I don't think someone's necessarily like, I don't think that person was sitting on Facebook waiting for me to post a 1984 Stein. I think they just probably look for a lot of either Raiders or a lot of Redskins stuff, and it just popped up.
Yeah.
It's my theory anyway. I mean, again, I just told you I'm on day 22 of Facebook Marketplace. So, yeah.
Well, it's worth a shot at least. All right, let's move on to the next one.
So question number 4, this is my favorite category, the slowest sale. I love getting rid of that old inventory. Jason, I know you do too. What did you get rid of this week?
So here it is. Sold this once before and finally sold it again. This REI button-down shirt. Let's see, I got best offer 14 plus shipping, so 19 all in. And this one sat for a very long time, 896 days. I've had it since November 5th of 2018. So a very old item there.
Do you typically not do well with REI items?
Well, REI has been great for me, and this is even men's XL, but I think the coloring on this photo, I don't know if you can tell, but it's a little off. I mean, you can kind of get a sense for the item, the shirt, but that's also a very old REI tag. And so I think both of those together, I honestly don't know why measurements are right on for XL. So I don't know. It was in great condition.
Sometimes there's just no explanation. Well, nice getting rid of that old stuff either way. So my oldest sale here is actually a very similar item. It is a Marmot shirt, which is a pretty good brand. I mean, Marmot's a high-end outdoor apparel brand. It's actually one of my favorite brands. This is a size XL, and it's what you're looking for. It's a polyester blend, so it's that's what people are looking for in these like outdoor brands more so than cotton. They're looking for the blends. But thought a nice shirt. Thought it was a nice color. Looking back, pictures are decent. I mean, this is some of my older pictures. Some of them are really bad. I thought the pictures were pretty decent. And a color that isn't probably super common listed. But there we go. It took me 434 days to get rid of this bad boy, and accepted an offer at $18 plus $5 shipping. So picked it up on February 8th, 2020. Actually, that's back in Denver. I wonder where the heck, what store I picked that up at.
Mile High.
Yeah, that's a safe bet probably.
That's where we got 75% of our inventory.
Yeah, for me, maybe even a higher percentage than that. I picked it up at Mile High Thrift, February 8th, 2020.
I love that that you've tracked where you got all that stuff.
Yeah, I write down the store too.
Nice.
The store and the date. All right, so updated scoreboard here. We got Jason with the Hokey. What is it? Hokies? Hokey. No, wait. Oneones. The 3 Oneones to Chris with 1 slow selling shirt. We'll move on to our final question. This is where we need you, the live audience. So we're looking for best picks. So the best item that Jason and I picked from the past week. And we're going to need you to vote. So if you're going to vote for Jason's item, put J in the chat. For Chris, put C in the chat. Don't vote yet. Let us show you the items first. Jason, what's your best pick of the week?
All right. I paid $1 for this. This is an item I saw yesterday at the Goodwill, or not at Goodwill. It was another thrift store here. And I think it's brand new, but I took it to the front register, no tag on it. And I was just hoping the lady would be like, how about $1? And she did. So I was very happy about that. But I got this Ping like wood cover, driver cover. You can see the Ping logo there on the top, Ping on the side. Obviously, like sticking with golf trends, Ping on the sides there. So, I mean, like I said, this looks brand new. It's leather top. I honestly haven't looked up comps on that because I was like, if she tells me $1, $2, $3, I'm going to buy it anyways. But I think for something like that, I'm probably looking at around, I mean, if I had to guess, I would say $25 to $30, maybe more. But maybe that's something that David would know watching from Line Creek Boutique. He sells a lot of golf. So, David, if you know what that would go for, let me know.
Sounds like he's putting you to work, David. I love it. No, that's a cool find, man. I just never find good. I've literally picked one golf club from a thrift store, and it's still sitting over there. And it was kind of a mediocre golf club at that. Everything I find is just old stuff that that with like bad brands and stuff. Nothing that anyone's going to pick up. But maybe I just don't have a good enough eye. Probably both are true. All right, here's my coolest pick of the week. I've never found anything quite like this before. You're gonna laugh. I'll show you the tag first. Polo Ralph Lauren. You're like, whatever. You find that all the time, bro. Like, who cares? But check this piece out.
No way, dude.
Look at that the big horse, Germany, the Germany logo there, or the crest, I should say. Look at that thing. And then on the wait, there's more. Check out the back. Germany number 16. Really cool piece. It's actually a women's shirt too. I forgot to look up comps. They haven't posted this. I haven't listed this yet. I'll list it tomorrow. But I'm looking at this thing for men's. I actually just did a search for men's. I see sold comps 49, 48, 50, 38. See some lower ones too. Auction, one bid, $20. Nice job, buddy. Another one, $10. Nice. But see, don't auction off stuff like this. Even though it's a super rare piece, shirts on a 7-day auction just usually aren't going to work. Another one, $49.95. Of course, I'm looking at men's comps. I should look at women's. It just defaulted to that. But women's size, medium, slim fit, little Germany action, big pony polo.
Dude, I even put a vote in for you on that one. I mean, that one is amazing. I mean, I think that's the only time that someone has swept that last category. I did not get a single vote, Chris. And like I said, I even voted for you. What
about David? David, the golf king's got to stay loyal to his bread and butter over there.
He voted for you.
Shoot, my taco bot is not fitting into that.
David did say you're right on with it, $20 to $25 on that Ping driver cover.
Nice.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a great flip, $1 into 20 or so, lightweight. But yeah, dude, nothing compares to what you just pulled over there.
Didn't you have a haul back in the day where you bought like a whole bunch of driver covers? I mean, we're talking maybe a couple of years ago.
Dude, you're remembering well. I mean, that was like 2 summers ago in Denver. They had like a community yard sale to school, and it was tons of stuff. I pulled a bunch of those things. They were Titleist, and they all went for like $15, $20 a piece or more.
That's awesome. Yeah, I remember that too. That's when I first sort of like, got tipped off and like, oh, those things are worth money. Those things that people put on the top of their golf clubs. But now it's like something that I'm always kind of looking out for. It's a great garage sale find. Something I always look out for and like never end up finding, by the way. But
yeah, and those things, like most people don't know what they are or don't think they hold any value. So they'll just be like, 50 cents, $1.
So here's our final score on the FLIPPIN scoreboard, the highest tech scoreboard in sports. Jason with the Ones, 3. Chris with the shirts, the Germany shirts, 2. Nice win, Jason. I updated the all-time FLIPPIN record books. And there we go. I guess that's like Jason with, what's that, 7 to Chris with 6. So 7 for Jason, 9 for Chris.
Still ahead.
You're closing the gap, though.
I think when we started this show, I think you took 5 of the first 6 episodes. And I was just like, I don't know if I'm going to win again.
It was something like that. But
I mean, you're on an insane streak there.
I think it might have been 4 out of 6 to start things off. But anyway, nice win, dude. That was cool. Some good sales there.
Yeah. And, yeah, thanks, Chris. I was going to ask this question earlier when we were talking about Facebook. And this is something I honestly don't know about. I'm guessing maybe if you haven't done this as well, you may not know. But I want to pose this to those people watching who may have more experience on Facebook, because I'm getting those things that say renew your listing. And every week I go through and I renew right before the weekend. But it says like 3 or 4 renewals left. And I'm wondering what happens at the end of those renewals. Do you know?
I have no idea. I just don't think you probably just can't renew it anymore, right? It'll just like lag down at the bottom.
I'm wondering if that, or if you have to like create a new listing, which could be time consuming if you've got 100 listings or so that all do that.
Yeah, you could end and relist, or maybe just let it sit and let it ride. Yeah, that's an interesting thought. I think that's probably what I would do, is just let it sit and let it ride and wait for the right person to come across it, I guess. Because it's still my secondary, at this point in time, it's still my secondary platform. I have about close to 10% of my inventory on there. So yeah, I don't know if that I can devote the energy into like relisting and then doing it again.
Trisha says delete and relist. They have an option for it. Okay, that's good to know.
That is good to know.
I would rather hear that than you have to create a whole new listing and do new photos or something.
That would be a pain.
Yeah. Well, question of the night, what are you guys selling out there? What are your flips of this week? So let us know in the comments. We've got time for a few as we wind down the show. And while you all are typing in, I want to talk about what's going on next week. Two Flippin' Dudes is going to be back next Thursday. And guess what? We were talking about him earlier. David, Lion Creek Boutique, is going to be our guest on the show. So we've got our third guest coming on, and we are excited to have David on the show next week.
That's awesome. I'm excited to have David, and I know you are too, because I guess you're just going to have him comp out all your golf stuff while he's on here.
Yeah, bring all your golf stuff.
David, don't feel like you have to come on here and talk golf, but I'm sure you'll get a lot of questions about it because he sells so much of that stuff lately.
Yeah, it'll be good because I'm sure there's a lot of other stuff that David sells. So other stuff that he can talk about as well and not be pegged as the golf guy.
No, he sells such a variety of stuff. And he is a full-time reseller too. And recently full-time, I think late 2020 or maybe mid to late 2020 became, transitioned from a part-time seller to a full-time seller. So he'll tell you more about that next week, but he's going to be a great guest, a cool person to come tune in and get to know and learn from. He's a sharp fella, and yeah, really enjoy his content on TikTok for sure.
Yeah, we'll hear a few responses on things that are selling. Sold a vintage Seinfeld Monopoly on Facebook. That's pretty sweet. While I was watching you guys on Facebook. Wow, Ethan, that's great.
That is great.
I've heard those different Monopolies can go for quite some money. So if you want to share what you got for it, would love to hear that. Nick and Renee sold a lava lamp for $120, paid $0. So from free to $120, it's a great margin.
Wow, that's awesome.
Lynn's got another free item sold, $52 for a new Shakespeare fishing pole. Interesting. I didn't know they existed.
Lynn, why are you stealing stuff and selling it online, bro? That's not cool.
So yeah, those are the three that have popped up. Those are the sales that you guys have been having. That's great.
I just noticed I had a sale just before the show started on Facebook Marketplace, a Timbuktu messenger bag. It's been sitting on
Facebook.
Yeah, it's been sitting on eBay for probably 3 months. I can check that right now. It has been since December. It's been on for 4 months on eBay.
Wow.
It seems like I just picked that thing up. It's funny how time flies.
Ethan says he got 35 for the Monopoly. So
nice. That's awesome.
Paid $3. Leslie sold 3 Tommy Bahama shirts and a Tommy Bahama hat. Is TB country there in Illinois?
'Tis the season. There's a TB right behind me hanging on the wall that I just picked up yesterday. It's the time to be buying and selling those.
That's right. And then we'll finish with this one. Lion Creek Boutique, David, our guest next week, sold a 30 album set in $30 in I can't speak. $30 in, sold for $185. There it is. Wow. 30 albums, $30, $185.
That's awesome.
All right, Chris. Well, this has been a great show.
Great show. Great win on your part. That's exciting, closing the gap, and really excited about the news of having David, Lion Creek Boutique, on the show next week. That's going to be a ton of fun. If you haven't done so already, if you could just take a minute to go ahead and click the like button. Of course, that's if you maybe cracked half a smile and somewhat enjoyed yourself tonight. If you hit that like button, that helps us out a whole bunch so we can get this content out to more people that can join the conversation. So thanks for that. And thanks everyone for joining and sharing your flips and asking really great questions.
Yep. Thank you much for coming in and watching and hanging with us, guys. Hope you have a great week reselling. We'll catch you later. Bye.
Peace.